excited for you. Let me just start with, I love the movie. I saw a screening of it. But first, I want to all the things, but I want to start with, and how are you doing? I know that obviously, we are all right now, I think, dealing with a lot, especially in the Black community. So I wanted to just see, how are you doing and how are you feeling with everything that's been going on?
My heart is heavy. I mean, we were already in a very surreal time with this pandemic, and then the last couple of weeks, and then yesterday, just so much happening, and so my heart is heavy, and I haven't completely been able to process what I'm feeling, so I don't totally have the language. This morning in my meditation, often when I can't settle myself in the morning, I'll ask myself, what do I have need of? And it was to be connected to my Black brothers and sisters in this moment, because it really feels heavy. And so I put up that Instagram post. And at the same time, I had a vision for myself of waking up on this morning, the morning that my first big leading role in a feature film, that it would feel a little bit different. And I think that's part of the reality of life, is that we learn to hold very conflicting emotions, complex things at the same time, and that joy is revolutionary in the midst of this. And so my heart is heavy, and I am also very excited to share with the world something that I feel so excited about and that I worked really hard on, and that was me stepping through a really big fear of mine and also towards a big dream of mine.
I love what you said, joy is revolutionary. I think that's so poignant. I mean, I think obviously right now we're all hoping that, the name George Floyd doesn't just become another hashtag. And that hopefully there, is actually more that comes out of this moment. But, as a community, we also have to find the joy. And I thought the fact that you say joy is revolutionary, so I love that so much. And I think that films like the one that you are a part of are one of the things that, are bright light during this time. So tell me a little bit about, tell me all the things. Why the high note? Like this is the moment that you wanted to do a feature film, and that you're like, okay, and I'm gonna sing.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, I have had the honor of playing two long-running people in life, Joan Carroll Clayton and now Bo Johnson, right? So my life has been very full and fulfilling and wonderful. I will be honest that during Girlfriends, and when Girlfriends ended, the pearly gates of Hollywood did not open. And I didn't have tons of scripts. I haven't been turning down feature films. Ow. It is. It's fine. And then I got to the point during Blackish where it was really, for me, well, now that I've waited, what's the thing I want? What's the thing that's going to be special enough for me to walk into that space of the big screen, and also that was going to be worthy of my time, because we do a lot of episodes on Blackish and we work really hard and we are mostly working all the time. And then this script came along and I chased it. I loved it so much for so many reasons. Well, I'll tell you some of the big ones. One, the overarching message of this film was so good that no matter the place, no matter the phase, no matter the time of your life, no matter what people are telling you, no matter what the world expects of you or wants from you, no matter how people want you to stay in a lane, it is never too late to become more of yourself. It is never too late to change lanes. It is never too late for you to go for your dreams. It is never too late for you to listen to the fire and the joy and the passion that is inside you. And that overarching theme of this movie was just so important. I felt it was universal in what people could identify with, and also so specific and personal to me, because it made me realize and remember this dream that I have to sing. And this character was singing. So it was like a combination of all of it. The fact that it's a story about two women who are on parallel paths, also going after her dreams. The woman, Maggie, played by Dakota Johnson, who plays my assistant, that we aren't two women against each other. We're two women on that parallel path and story. The fact that we are two women who are telling stories of our own narratives and inner dialogues and our own dreams, as opposed to our stories in context of a man. That it's the story of two female leads doing that. That the product, the result of this movie is not that we find the man. What is it? The white shining. What is that expression?
Knight in shining armor.
Yeah, the knight in shining armor. That's like the point of the movie, that the point of the movie is becoming more yourself. Those were things that were so exciting to me and so special and so worthy of me walking through towards this dream and through some big fear around singing.
It's so crazy because as I was watching it, I was like watching Grace Davis, who is my cousin, Ariana Davis, Grace Davis. I feel like we're cousins. I feel like watching Grace Davis, but then also watching Tracee Ellis Ross. Like it was like you both simultaneously stepping into this moment where you're like singing, and I like got chills watching because I was like, this is her moment. How did it feel for you the first time you watched yourself singing on the big screen, if you've seen it yet?
I saw it once, and it was wonderful and terrifying and exciting. And then when it finished, I thought, oh my God, what a nice feel-good movie. Like so often, like there's not a bad thing. Like it's like it just, I left and I was like, wow, what a treat to just go and enjoy a movie. And I'm so grateful that in this time that we're in, that this movie will offer a bit of feel good, a bit of joy in the midst of so much heaviness, a moment to escape.
It did for me, for sure. And I really related because I started my career as Gail King's assistant. And so the relationship between like Maggie and Grace in the movie, like I love that whole dynamic between them. It was giving me like Devil Wears Prada vibes, but like more feel good.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not quite the Devil Wears Prada, but yeah.
Like Grace is way much nicer boss, as was Gail. But I was curious. I know you used to work in fashion and you worked in retail. I mean, do you remember what it was like when you were an assistant? Like, was there anything crazy that you ever had to do, like going to get green juice for your boss or any of that?
As you said that, I was like, no. But then I remembered I worked for. When I left, I was working in the fashion industry as a fashion assistant. And then I left Mirabella magazine and went to New York magazine, and we headed up the fashion department with a very small crew of us. And her name was Grace. It's so weird. I think her name was Grace. That's so weird. Anyway, we didn't have an ice machine, but she liked her Pepsi and she liked it with ice. So at night before we would leave the office, I would make plastic cups with water at the bottom and put them in the freezer. And she would pour the soda and use her straw constantly during the day, like poking at the ice. She was a great boss, but that was a funny thing that I did.
Both things. I love that movie. I thought that this dynamic was so great. Also, the soundtrack is amazing. The music is amazing. I was curious for you if there is one song on the soundtrack that's your favorite, and also, is there a movie soundtrack that you've always just loved that holds a special place in your heart? Because I think this movie will be that for a lot of people.
Okay, okay. I love the first single that came out, Love Myself. I love the message of it. The woman who wrote it, Sarah Aarons, and the story behind the song is really special. And it was also the first song I heard before we started recording. Like it was one of the first songs that came in. So I'm sorry, I keep getting texts. Special place in my, I should have put on Do Not Disturb. Wait, why didn't I do that then?
That's what I always do, because I'm like, don't text me. Okay.
So, that song just holds a really special place in my heart. But I think one of my favorite songs, I don't know if you guys know who Corinne Bailey Rae is. She's a songwriter and a singer that I am obsessed with, that I've loved my entire life. And she wrote a song for me for the movie, and it's called New to Me. And I mean, come on. And in the demo, she sang it. And then I was like, why would I re-sing this song? It's crazy. This is crazy. But it holds such a special place for me because the words actually tell the story of me launching into the singing. So that answers that question. The soundtrack will be out tonight as well as the movie being available tonight. So the soundtrack Yeah, 2 songs are out right now. I have 5 songs total on the soundtrack. There's a Donny Hathaway song, Kelvin Harrison Jr., who is extraordinary. We did not have a lot of scenes together in the movie, but we became really close friends. He's a gem of a human and an extraordinary actor that we know in such a different way, but we get to see him as a gorgeous leading man in this movie. He also sings in the movie, and I got to get really close with him because we were both in the studio together, even though we didn't work together a lot. And so we were both launching into a new thing. And to answer your question about soundtrack for me, are you ready?
I'm ready. What is it?
Annie. The soundtrack to Annie.
I was not expecting that. I don't know what.
That soundtrack and my childhood, it was like my Hamilton. I don't know what to say, but I know every song still. Little girls everywhere I look, I can see them. Yeah, that's Miss Hannigan. So yeah, I'm sorry to burst anyone's bubble. That's the soundtrack for my childhood.
Everyone in the comments is, of course, asking, has your mom seen The High Note yet, and what are her thoughts?
My mom has not seen the movie. We had a family screening scheduled it was 2 days after the Los Angeles lockdown. So we didn't get to do my family screening. And then we all got so distracted with our own safety. And, I was not thinking about the movie. None of us were thinking about the movie. We were all thinking about the danger and fear and what we were in. By the time I realized that we had not done it, I called my mom and I was like, do you want an advanced link so you can see it? And she was like, I don't know. What do you think? And she said, you know what? I actually kind of want to wait and watch it in the energy of everybody being able to watch it, even though I can't be in a theater with people. The fact that maybe she could feel the excitement that's in the air. So she will see it this weekend or tonight, like everybody else. I doubt she's going to be able to stay up till midnight, but maybe tomorrow night.
And tweeting about it, like it'll be like...
Yeah, well, we have a live Twitter watch party tomorrow night. I will be tweeting, Kelvin, Nisha, I think Cube will be tweeting. So people should definitely tune into the watch party. And please, honestly, in the midst of everything that we are all feeling, you saw it, it's a feel-good movie. Get dressed up, pour yourself a cocktail, put on some heels. You don't have to walk anywhere. Sit in a chair and watch it with your loved ones or your kids. Like, it's a movie that, maybe watch it with your lover.
I watched it by myself with my rosé and my pizza, and I was like, it was like the best. It was like the best. I highly, highly recommend. How can people tune in? How can they watch it this weekend?
Okay, so it is Fandango, DirecTV, YouTube, Apple, most streaming platforms. So it's sort of where you might have. But if you want to figure out exactly where to see it, go to watchthehighnote.com, and then you can figure out what matches up for you. And the soundtrack also drops tonight, which is available wherever you listen to music.
Yes, I love it. Okay, before I let you go, 2 final questions. One, as a fellow girl, I just ordered Pattern Beauty. I ordered like the whole set. I'm trying it all. But I feel like I'm so over like my curly hairstyles during the quarantine. Do you have any suggestions, any tips on like tutorials? What are you doing with your hair these days?
I am doing all of it, honestly. Yesterday, I figured out how to make Bantu knots and how to make really good parts on my hair.
I'm bad at parting. I'm literally always just like, what's happening?
But you know what I do with the parting? I don't try and look in the mirror. I feel it on my head.
Okay.
So I would say it's a fun time to experiment with different hairstyles. I will tell you a secret that Pattern is coming out with phase 2 early summer. Can't tell you what that would be, but there's more to come, which is exciting. And for those of you that don't know, Pattern Beauty is my hair care line. It is for curly, coily, and tight textures. We have been out for a year. Your hair is gorgeous, by the way. And we right now have a hydration shampoo and all the conditioners and all of that, but there is more to come, and it's patternbeauty.com, or the Instagram is Pattern Beauty. So, yeah.
Okay, I got to get the deets from your team because we will cover all of the things at Oprah Mag because we need to get that out in the world.
We have that conversation scheduled. Don't you worry.
Yay! So last before I go, I feel like you're always so, at least just following on social media, you seem like you're so good at being at peace and really being yourself, even I think with everything going on. What's your advice for right now for anyone right now who feels a little lost during this time and who is trying to find their own peace despite all of the chaos?
You know, for me, I think it's really give yourself space to have the feelings that you're having. And it's not always easy to do that. I think it's so interesting that you say, at peace, I'm like, really? Because it feels chaotic and like there's so much happening in my heart and inside me. I think it's really okay to hold conflicting feelings, to feel heavy-hearted, to feel confused, to feel frightened, and also to look for joy. And I walk towards the goal of wholeness, not perfection, not wellness, wholeness, because that allows me space to be with both the difficult feelings and the good feelings, and to not judge which one is better than the other, but to let the reality of that be here. And so I think, if anything, I would just suggest to people to be honest with yourself and be gentle with yourself. Be gentle, gentle, gentle. This is a very strange time. There's no roadmap. None of us really know what this is. And there's a lot of very difficult and upsetting things that are happening as we really see the inequity of our world and the brutality that exists around us. And sometimes very close to home. And so I think just be very gentle and very loving, not only with yourself, but with each other.
I love that so much. Be gentle, you guys. Thank you so much, Tracee Ellis Ross. You are a delight. Go see The High Note. It is truly a feel-good movie for the times right now. And congratulations on your first move-in, your first singing moment. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you. Be well, everybody. Sending you the biggest hug. This is me hugging you. Bye. How do I get out? I don't know. Oh, I got it.